First, let's look at it semantically. Karma literally means action. Typically, when most of us talk about karma, we use the term to refer to the repercussions of our action, the fruits of our action, the results of our action, as in, oh, this must be my bad karma or my good karma. But actually, karma literally means action. And so, yes, of course, everything we do produces a result. Newton told us that as well on a very physical level. But yoga is union. Again, semantically, that's what the word yoga means, is union. And as we always say, half jokingly, but also deeply seriously, it's not the union of the nose to the knees, or the fingertips to the toes, or the head to the ground. It's the union of the self to the divine. It's the union of this individual consciousness, individual existence, individual experience with the supreme reality. And that's where, we don't have time to go into it tonight, but that's where, if you look at, for example, the 8 limbs of yoga that the sage Patanjali gave, it begins with yam and niyam, or what we colloquially speak about in the West as the yamas and niyamas, which are the do's and don'ts, how we live, what we do. And they take us all the way up through the asanas, through what we do with our body and our breath, and ultimately all the way up into samadhi, which is the 8th limb, which is that union, that ecstatic union. So yoga is union, rooted and founded upon right action, right belief, right thought, right values, right virtues, using the body and the breath in the right way, and then ultimately all the way up to union. So karma yoga, very simply, is action that is rooted in an awareness of union, or action that leads to greater union. It can be both. So karma yoga is either that which I do out of my yogic awareness and experience. So I have an awareness, a knowing, a truth, an experience of my oneness with all of creation. Therefore, I serve all of creation. So the yoga comes first, the awareness comes first, the karma, the action, comes out of that. But it also is a path through action to union. And so through service, through using my skills, my abilities, my arms, my legs, my brain, a path to union. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks about 3 different paths to union, 3 different paths to awakening, paths to enlightenment. Bhakti yoga, devotion, Jnana yoga, wisdom, and karma yoga, action. So karma yoga is both. It's the action that comes out of my awareness of union, or action I engage in to purify myself and to bring me closer into that union. One of the things that we say here a lot is, when you stand up from your meditation cushion, you are not inspired to serve, there is a problem with your meditation. That action in service should be the most natural, obvious byproduct of a real meditation experience. Because in meditation we experience oneness. And that oneness is experienced in a whole variety of ways. I mean, there's no right meditation or wrong meditation or better meditation or worse meditation, but one of the really fundamental and sort of ubiquitous aspects of meditation, you could say, is that experience of losing the sense of where I end and the world begins. And maybe it begins as simply as I lose the sense of where my leg ends and the cushion begins. But as we go deeper and deeper into meditation, as our consciousness expands, as we root and ground and anchor ourselves in consciousness, in awareness, that space where I end and the world begins, it dissolves. That border between self and not self dissolves. This is where in the core teachings of Advaita Vedanta, there's nothing but God. Everything else is an illusion. And so as we meditate, we start to have deeper and deeper experiences of that, which means that as we stand up from that cushion to serve the world as I serve myself should be the most natural outcome. And if it's not, it means that maybe you need to, tune up your meditation. If you're standing up from meditation still thinking, me, what about me, what's in it for me? It may be time to think about trying a different technique of meditation. When we stand up from meditation, we stand up anchored in an awareness that myself is not relegated to this physical body. And in the same way that we take care of our physical self, if I have an itch, I'm going to scratch it. My stomach hurts because I'm hungry, I'm going to feed it. My throat is dry, I'm thirsty, I'm going to drink. I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. I'm aching, I'm going to do something. My favorite example is I trip and fall and I hurt my right leg. My left leg picks up the extra weight. We call that limping. Now, nobody ever had to say, oh, humanitarian, wonderful, amazing, spiritual left leg, would you mind picking up some extra weight? We'll, put you on the cover of our humanitarian magazine. We'll give you like 500 likes on Facebook, and we'll give you an award. The left leg isn't looking for some kind of acknowledgement of its greatness through service. It serves because the right leg is self. And it happens automatically. And if I trip and I fall and I hurt my right leg every week, the left leg is never going to say, oh, forget it, like I did this last week. Forget it, I'm done. It's over. You pick up the weight for me for a while. You had your chance. And if I hurt my right leg today, and then tomorrow I have a stomach ache, and the next day I have a headache, and a few days later I get bit by a mosquito, the body's not going to say, all right, so I did the hurt leg, I did the headache, I did the stomach ache, but mosquito bite, nope, I've hit my limit. No more, come back and see me after January 1st when I've got another quota for service. It's going to keep serving because the entire being, the leg, the head, the stomach, the itchy arm from the mosquito bite, whatever it may be, it's all self. And in the same way, our service recognizes it's all self. And so we serve. And that really that's what karma yoga is. It's the karma, the action, that is the most natural outcome of the yogic experience that I have, whether on my meditation cushion, whether in my spiritual study, whether doing my asanas, whatever my yoga practice may be, in my chanting, in my prayer, whatever my yoga practice may be, Karma yoga becomes that which comes out of it. And lastly, as I was saying before, if you haven't had that experience yet, don't worry. You don't have to wait for it to begin karma yoga. The practice of selfless service, of service in which I recognize it's not about what I'm going to get. Even the appreciation, even the love. Sometimes people think, well, I don't need the money, but at least for God's sakes, people should appreciate me. At least for God's sake, somebody should say thank you. Real karma yoga, real seva, is with absolutely no expectation at all. It's with a sense of I serve not because of what I'm going to get, but because the act of service is purifying me. The act of service is my sadhana. So I have my seated, legs crossed, eyes closed sadhana. And then I have my eyes open, hands moving, legs moving, in action sadhana that we call seva. And it purifies us and it makes us realize, how can I just be a tool in the hands of the divine? It's not about what's fun for me. It's not about what I think, in a lot of ashrams, not here at Paramarth Nikethan, Puja Swamiji's philosophy is a bit different, but in a lot of ashrams traditionally, the seva was always things like cleaning toilets. You'd have people who were doctors and lawyers and professionals and billionaires show up, and their seva, their karma yoga was, you're cleaning poop. And so it wasn't about what's fun. It wasn't about what's glamorous. It was just about how can I become a tool in God's hands. No title, no identity, no ego wrapped up in it as the doer, but just whatever needs to be done in the moment. And that's where karma yoga is seen as this very, very, very powerful spiritual path to purification and awakening. Purification of the mind. The soul, of course, is pure, but purification of the mind, of the intellect, of the ego, to make me ready for that yoga, for that union.